All right, we are back with the season 2 debut of Friday Night Lights. Different looking stream this year. We're on Twitter and YouTube. Upgraded the cameras, upgraded the microphone. I feel like I'm a professional now. No big deal. We're watching. It's football season. Football's back. Usually, I would be doing college football and NFL. This week, I'm obviously just doing college football. All my favorite picks for Saturday, along with NFL futures. I've only got 3 futures that I'm giving out today. So looking forward to that. But I'm looking forward to a full weekend of betting, college football, NFL. That'll be next weekend. It's going to be great. It's going to be crazy. Tonight, college football. I've been betting my ass off already the last 2 nights. But guess what? Wife and kids. Wife and son out of town. It's just me and the dog. And you know what that means. It's beers. It's betting. It's just having fun. It's time to win some fucking money. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of my favorite bets for the weekend. My 5 favorite bets. Got you scrolling across the bottom line. Again, I'm DJ Primo of Loaded Box Podcast. This is Friday Night Lights, presented by Loaded Box Podcast. And let's get into the picks. This will be quick. All right, my first pick. I got my lock for the end. My first pick of the weekend is going to be Cincinnati minus 22.5 versus Miami. Sorry, don't mind my throat. It's a little bit raspy. Just got to have some beer. That'll make it better. Cures everything. I love Cincinnati minus 22.5. I mean, Desmond Ridder, the defense, I think they're going to roll through this game. Kind of everybody's been saying Cincinnati won't be as good. They're ranked too high. Shouldn't be a top 10 or near the top 10. It just won't be as good as they're being predicted, which I strongly disagree with. I love Ridder. He feels like an NFL-style quarterback. He's always in control. They've been hearing all the naysayers, all the negative talk around them. After not making the playoff last year, they're angry. They hear everything. Cincinnati is coming for a reckoning this year. I think they blow. And I usually love like big favorites in week 1, so I think they blow Miami, Ohio out of this game. Game number 2. I've got Miami plus 19.5 versus Alabama. I know, super unpopular pick. Everybody loves Alabama. It's in Atlanta, so there's no advantage for anybody here. Neutral stadium, which is stupid. Whatever. I love the big non-conference games in week 1, so I'm really excited about that. Everybody's all in on Alabama. I'm smashing Miami here. Alabama's replacing Mac Jones, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. I mean, 3 of those guys were Heisman candidates last year. And did you watch C.J. Stroud last night? He looked nervous. The bright lights, the expectations. He really struggled in that first game. His quarterback rating was lower than Adrian Martinez's was. And in that first game. That's bad. Expectations are high. Bryce Young's kind of in that same situation, man. The entire eyes of Alabama are watching him, expecting him to come in and just be the same quarterback that they just continue to bring in. But, the experience also isn't around him that was there last year. Bama's also replacing their offensive coordinator, so they just continue to just dominate. They're going to be good, don't get me wrong. They're probably only going to have one loss, maybe 2 at the very worst. I don't see that happening, but and I don't know if they lose this game by any means. I think it'll be a lot closer. Meanwhile, Miami is returning one of the most experienced teams in college football, and maybe one of the best offensive lines in college football. I know De'Aaron King isn't fully healthy, but we have De'Aaron King, who, again, another quarterback, is one of the best in college football at this point. And I believe he's fully healthy. I truly do. I think he's going to come out there. He's going to be ready to go. He's making that money just like everybody else is. And I like this game to be a lot tighter than 19.5 points. I know people are going to think I'm dumb. I just think with Miami's offensive line, Alabama replacing a lot of guys last year, like they do every year. I get that. But this is like, it was multiple Heisman candidates on that team that are gone now. So I'm going with Miami plus 19.5. I like Miami. Game number 3, Georgia plus 3 versus Clemson. I'm getting ballsy. I'm taking 2 of the best teams in the last decade for college football. I'm taking Georgia plus 3. There are some injury concerns for Georgia, but year in and year out, they are on the edge of that like college football playoff, right? They're just right there. They always think they're going to get in, but they're not. They lose in the championship game, and they're always trying to argue, well, Alabama's afraid to play us in the college football playoff. We should be the ones getting in there. Whatever, I don't want to hear it. But what is Georgia typically always missing? They are missing that quarterback, that a star quarterback to get them over the edge. And this year, in my opinion, they have that guy in JT Daniels. I'm going to continue to say it. He's also a top tier quarterback in college football, and he feels like the guy that's going to get Georgia over the hump, do the Humpty Hump. He feels like the guy is going to get Georgia over that hump. And just Georgia's defense is always really good, so I don't expect a big drop off from there. So if we're looking at just the quarterback, that's going to be the thing that gives them that extra boost, that thing that gets them the college football playoff. I like them +3, and I also like them against the money line. I think I saw that at +130, so I would sprinkle some action on that money line. Hey, if you don't think the dog can win, don't bet it, all right? So I'm taking the dog here, and I'm taking the money line both ways. I like Georgia here. I think they're going to have a great year, and I do see them in the playoff. I actually future bet them to win the national championship, so if you want to try to get that in before Saturday, that'd be great too. I suppose you can do it throughout the season, but the odds are probably going to be best right now. Let's see here. This is my second favorite bet of the weekend. Let me go back. I forgot to talk about DJ Uiagalelei. I know he's a talented quarterback. He showed us he's a talented quarterback last year, but now it's all eyes on him, and I'm just going to take the more experienced team. So yeah, Georgia +3. I already said that, but UCLA +2.5 versus LSU. This one is in UCLA. It's in the Rose Bowl. I mean, I can't resist a home dog. I love me a good home dog. I also like a team that has like a game under their belt. They've played a game already, and they're coming in. They've knocked those cobwebs off, and they're ready to go after LSU, who struggled last year. Dorian Thompson-Robinson was bad, really bad, but I expect a buzz-bad game from him this week. I love Chip Kelly. LSU has a new defensive coordinator after terrible Bo Pelini. I'm a Nebraska fan. I kind of like to see that disaster they had at defense last year. But I won't forget, obviously, they have two of the best cornerbacks in all of college football. Derek Stingley is one of them. Maybe the best cornerback in all of college. Derek Stingley, maybe the best cornerback in all of college football. But UCLA's defense is very good, and they're going to keep them in games. But I also believe Chip Kelly's offense is going to cause trouble for LSU. Let's not forget that Chip Kelly changed the game of college football offensively. He's also going against Ed Orgeron, who, luckily got a Joe Burrow in one of the most just electric offenses of all time. And it didn't feel like he even had to coach that year. So then, they go ahead, they lose their offensive coordinator, and they have the worst year of their life last year. I know it was a COVID year, but they're bad. New quarterback, young team, still inexperienced. I think we're hyping LSU up a little bit too high. Again, I think UCLA wins this game. I think they kind of win it easily. So I'm taking UCLA plus the 2.5. And lastly, this is my lock of the weekend. I love this game. ULL, University of Louisiana, Lafayette, plus 9.5 at Texas. Are people still doing this shit? We're like, oh, Texas is back. Is that really a thing still? Because they aren't. Like, they try to do this every year. They are on yet another coach, Steve Sarkisian, who comes in to this buzzsaw that the same previous coaches have had to come into, get all that same pressure. And if you don't win right away, first 2 years, you're fired. It's ridiculous. I don't know how anybody can want to coach there. Let's not forget ULL smashed Iowa State in the bowl game last year. Smashed them. And they're returning 20 of their 22 starters. That's 10 on offense and 10 on defense. That's unheard of. That's among the most in the country. I think they're number 1 or 2 in return players from last year. Also, they're going up against a bunch of underclassmen with a new intact that Texas has, and a new system with continued but really unrealistic, trust me, I understand, I'm a Nebraska fan, unrealistic expectations that Texas is still a good football state. All right? All these good players are coming from like California and shit now. Texas football, kind of overrated. Texas, overrated. I'm not a Texas guy. ULL is my lock of the entire weekend. Those are my college football picks. Take those. You're going to be 5-0. You're going to be celebrating. You're going to be winning. I'm going to get into my 3 NFL futures. My 3 favorite NFL futures. They're going across the bottom line. Number 1, I like Matthew Stafford to win MVP at plus 1,200. I think he finally has. I mean, if you could see what Sean McVay did with Jared Goff in his first year, he made him look really good. And now we actually know what Jared Goff is. He's trash. Lions are going to, go 0-16 or 1-15 or 0-17 or 1-16. That 17th game fucks me up pretty good. Stafford's going in this offense in which McVay made Jared Goff look good. What's Stafford going to do? He's got the arm talent as Aaron Rodgers. He's got weapons. They've got one of the best defenses in the league. He's going to be whipping that ball all over it. I think he's going to have a huge year, and especially since Cam Akers is now gone, he's going to be throwing it a little bit more. I know they still use the run game to set up the play action, but he's going to feast in this offense. So I like that bet just for pure odds. It's one of my favorite odds, that or Dak Prescott, but I love Matt Stafford. Number 2, I like the Packers over 10 wins. That's just unbelievable. 10 wins? Only 10 wins with Aaron Rodgers back. They've been 13-3 in the last 2 years, and Aaron Rodgers is coming back angry at the world. It's minus 130, over 10 wins. That's a guarantee. That's a guaranteed win. If you still get 10 or 10.5, lock it in. Even 11, there's an extra game this year. That's easy. That's an easy win. That's easy money. They're just handing money out. Just go ahead and put that and know that you're going to win that unless he gets injured. And then lastly, again, I'm back on the Rams. I've got the Rams to win the Super Bowl at plus 1,400. Everything I just talked about with Matt Stafford, the offense, Sean McVay, the number 1 defense in football with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey last year, all those things together, this is more talent than Matt Stafford's ever seen. He's probably having culture shock. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. What is it like to have good coaching and good players around me? He's confused. And that might shock him right away. He's going to be like, oh, guys are catching balls and shit like that. So this is a little bit easier than I remember. So I'm going Rams win the Super Bowl plus 1,400. Again, that's just a long shot. One of my favorites. I really think the Rams are going to be a team to be reckoned with. The Packers will take them down. Probably now that Aaron Rodgers is back, but still, I'm taking my shot there. I can't be too homerish and take like Rodgers and Packers and all that shit. But right now, I'm going to get back to this North Carolina game. I got the North Carolina Virginia Tech over, not looking good. I've got North Carolina minus 5.5, not looking good. They're down 14-0, so I need a big second half from Sam Howell, who I think is going to be the Heisman, who is also a future bet of mine, and that North Carolina offense to just go off. They need to knock those cobwebs off. But college football's back. NFL's back in 1 week. I'll be back next Friday. We're going to be talking NFL. We're going to be talking college. Until then, cheers, gamble, win some fucking money. Tell me how your bets are going. Good night now.